Mics are on. All right, welcome to the Gunter City Council special meeting on Tuesday, May 20th. It is 8:01 a.m. and we are at 105 North 4th Street in the Public Safety Building. All notices have been properly posted. We do have a full quorum with everybody in attendance, and we will open this up with invocation and our Pledge of Allegiance. Chief, would you like to lead us?
Yes, ma'am. Let us bow. Dear Lord in heaven, we thank you for the many blessings you bestow upon us daily, Lord. We ask you to be with each and every member here this morning, with our staff, our city council, our mayor, our citizens, and our police, fire, EMS, and rescue, Lord. We ask you to watch over us, keep us safe, guide us, protect us, forgive us when we fail you, and bless us this many blessings upon us daily, Lord. These things we ask you in heaven's name we pray. Amen.
I pledge
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. On the Texas flag, I pledge allegiance to thee, Texas, one state, under God, one and indivisible.
All right. Okay, agenda item 1, the only one. So we are, Dan, you're going to present, and then we're going to discuss, consider, and act upon a resolution from the Gunter PD requesting to apply for Senate Bill 224 Grant 2026 from the Motor Vehicles Crime Prevention Authority.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, yeah, go ahead.
So what is Flock Safety? Flock Safety is a public safety operating system that combines technology and community partnership to deter and reduce crime. License and Flock Safety specializes in a plethora of platforms, but what we're going to concentrate on this Senate Bill 224 grant is specifically the license plate readers. The license plate readers are used to capture objective evidence, which is then used by law enforcement to investigate and prevent crime. Before I start this video, this White Settlement PD Chief Cook, he went 2 years ago to the Chiefs Conference that I was a part of a few weeks back. These conferences are designed to get out new technology, new vendors, new things that we can utilize to come back to our cities and help reduce crime and make our cities and communities safer. So this is what he's talking about, basically exactly what I've just done, and he did the exact same thing. 2 years ago, he put in for this grant, they've done it, and now it's just blown up. More cities are becoming, going to this grant. We've got, I think, Tioga PD, Chief Macomb, and then Chief Asherbrenner from Collinsville PD are also looking into doing this grant. So everybody around us is doing this. It's going to change the way we do business in law enforcement. It's just upping that bar as far as technology goes. But again, these are the license plate readers is what we're going to concentrate on, and those collect the data from the license plates, whether it's a wanted vehicle, a stolen vehicle coming in and out of our city. We'll be requesting 5 of these camera systems. They work off of a solar panel. You'll see them in the video. They'll have the solar panels underneath them to where the rain won't get to them. It blocks the rain. They're solar powered at night. During the day, they utilize the solar power panel, and they'll be on the north side of our city, the south side of our city, the east side, and the west side. So we're basically covering, and then we'll have one in the bridges at the golf clubhouse. That was another segue into working with them on getting these camera systems, because we had a break-in out there, and we had a grainy video or a grainy picture of a vehicle out there, but we didn't have the license plate. We didn't have anything. And had we had these out here, we'd have been able to detect that person and probably had an arrest or later on that day. Unfortunately, we didn't have that. All we had is a make and model of the vehicle and the color. and very little to go on. This video, Chief Cook will speak to that, whereas it's changing the ball game as far as law enforcement goes. I was kind of giving a couple of the council members a brief this morning showing exactly we're going to cover the city. And what that does is it puts a blanket of protection and safety within our city. And I want people to know that these camera systems are going to be out there, because what it's going to do is going to deter these guys coming into our city and wanting to break into our vehicles, steal things. If they know that these camera systems are there, they're going to go around our city and go somewhere else. That's just the way it is. And so the more that we can do to help reduce crime, that's what we're trying to do. So without further ado, I'll play this video.
I was actually born and raised in this community, went to school out here, joined the Air Force out here, then had a 30-year career in policing. I was born in the 70s, and the town has certainly changed. One of the things that I noticed coming back home, leaving Arlington in 2022, was that we did have some crime issues, what we categorize as violent crime. At a conference a couple of years ago, I saw the Flock brand and really piqued my interest. And so we were able to pursue a grant through the state of Texas. My administration has really sought to leverage technology. It's been really a game changer for us from the public safety side, because it is more than extra eyes and ears. Information in the hands of our patrol officers that are out there responding to calls for service, it instantly notifies them.
I fell in love with Flock. It's a huge help for us. It's a really big tool. But being a detective, I use it every single day.
It's a force multiplier for us. We have them at every entrance point into the city, and being a smaller agency with a lower manpower on the street, we're able to monitor every vehicle that comes into the city. I can't tell you the number of subjects that we have arrested based on the Flock activations.
We collaborate with the Fort Worth Real-Time Crime Center. We're all on the same channel. We talk to each other. Again, that enhances our officer safety. From an officer safety perspective, the Flock technology puts our officers in an advantageous position to be able to focus on their core duties, which is public safety.
When I receive a Flock alert, I'll announce it immediately. I will tell them what it's for, immediately run the information, and then give the information on what that hit is about. They shouldn't have to look at their computers while they're driving and trying to find somebody. They can focus on outside and what's around them. I wanted to be right here with them to help them and keep them safe and keep as many people safe as possible while getting the bad people off the streets.
If someone's going to come here and commit violent crime, we're going to capture that license plate and we're going to be able to respond. It's not all about crime. Sometimes it's about finding that missing child, finding that missing adult. We routinely share this information on our social media channels, because I'm okay with the suspects knowing that we have license plate readers, because I don't want them coming to our town to victimize our community. I think when the community sees that we're good stewards of data, when they see that Flock safety is committed to making sure that we uphold the constitutional principles of privacy, now they're a public safety advocate. I want to maximize our officers' time. So if I can have Flock handle a lot of the violent crime issues and make our community safer, then I've got more time to maybe station some officers in some of the residential neighborhoods to focus on our school zones, to focus on some of the quality of life issues. I want the community to know we're utilizing this technology to better our community. We're only 5.2 square miles.
And I want to reiterate to the council and mayor, if you notice, Chief Cook mentioned earlier, he had, his city is 5 square miles. And he thought this has done a tremendous job for Chief Cook and Wise Settlement PD. Just think what it would do for us. We're 134 potential square miles. That is like a needle in a haystack trying to pinpoint putting an officer when we hear people, hey, we got speeders on Kerfoot. We got to put them on Kerfoot. Well, we got speeders over here at the school zone. And usually it's 1, maybe 2 officers a shift. This basically lets us know where to put these officers in the event we get an alert for a wanted vehicle, a stolen vehicle, or a wanted subject that's got warrants for their arrest that's in our city. So that's the type of technology that we're looking at bringing to the city and maintaining. It's something I'm passionate about. It was part of the 5-year strategic plan that we spoke about earlier in this year. Law enforcement evolves. That's what we're doing. This is being proactive versus reactive. Gone are the days that Gunter Police Department's going to sit over there and just draw a paycheck and be reactive to wait for something to happen and then go take care of that. We're proactive, and that's what my department and our officers are all about. We're trying to set the bar. We're trying to change the way we do business here. We're not going to sit back and wait for it to come to us. We're going to go out there and be proactive and make sure that we're doing what we need to do to keep the bad guys out of our city and to let them know that, hey, we're out here, and if you come in our city and you've got warrants for your arrest and you've got a stolen vehicle, we're going to be on you like white on rice. So that's what we're trying to do. This grant 224 from the Senate bill will pay for 80% of these camera systems. These camera systems are $3,000 a piece, but they'll pay up to 80%, and we can reapply each year. This isn't something that after the first year goes away. We can reapply for these grants and continue to get 80% of these camera systems bought and paid for. So the total per camera system for the city would be $500 versus the $3,000. Now, the other thing is we're going to be working with, once we get this established, the potential is greater, working with HOA presidents and the developers when they come into our cities, and this just be the beacon. This will be the tip of the spear, so that these people are going to realize that we're not out here to play Big Brother. We're not out here to find out, get everybody's information and haunt everybody. This is for their safety and to keeping their communities safe. So we're going to be working in the future with homeowners associations, with the presidents, to get them to maybe flip the bill and then purchase these camera systems and then work with us to basically monitor that. And keeping it out of their hands, we've got the clubhouse golf course. They're willing to pay whatever it is, but they want us to maintain it, which is good for everyone. It puts everything in law enforcement versus a homeowners association where who knows what people are going to think that could go wrong if you had the president and the vice president or the homeowners association involved in that. The best case scenario is they turn it over to the police department and we monitor that safety feature, which is the LP of the license plate readers. Any questions about that?
So how are you inputting or connecting with someone who has a database of warrants?
This is a database that sends nationwide.
Okay.
These are so the license plate reader, it will have a dashboard, if you will.
So that's when she's talking about, she gets the alert,
Yeah.
sends it to you guys that this came from the database, this person's in your city,
Yep.
and then you go look for them.
So they have this Flock Safety is a huge company, and their camera systems are nationwide, and so they're centrally based. So it's kind of like a dispatch, if you will. Those dispatchers are in there. It has these license plate readers. When it's basically networking, it comes into the home base. If license plate reader shows that the vehicle is wanted or stolen, it sends the alert. The dispatch sends that to the city in which it is reading, and then it goes up to all of our officers. So our officers will have these apps on their phones that would basically, as soon as they get the alert, they know the time, the place, and location of that vehicle, wanted person or stolen vehicle.
How long does that take?
Matter of seconds.
Assuming it works with Silver Alert.
Yes, I think that's what we're working towards, is having all that tied in together so that we can, it's not only inputting that data, but pushing it out as well to the communities.
What about TxDOT? Does it tie in with them at all?
I'm not sure about TxDOT, but I know that Flock Safety is not just for not specifically just for law enforcement. They've got a networking process with other partnerships. So I would assume TxDOT with all the like the monitor boards you see when you're on the highway that work with that. I would assume, I don't want to speak for them, but I can only imagine that they partner with them as well.
And I don't know if you guys passed at TML. I met with Flock Safety and asked a lot of questions.
I met a representative in our local area here, but when Sergeant Wilbanks, we had a lot of the number twos. We don't have lieutenants or assistant chiefs here. So my number two was my sergeant, and he came down a couple of nights to visit and to go through the conference. And while we were down there, we were approached by the Flock representatives, and they took us out. They really just wanted to sit down and explain how this works, how it is beneficial to not only our law enforcement, but to the citizens. Like I said, it's like a bubble around your city, and when anybody penetrates that bubble, the warning bells go out, and then we're there. And so it's changing how we do business, not only preventing and deterring crime, but once crime has been committed, it helps us to track that person, to establish that person, and to make an arrest. And it also helps with convictions. I was explaining earlier, when it goes to trial, it's a good way of having, it forms a footprint or a thumbprint of where they've been. That's huge, because like the kid that broke into the high school, Prosper, he had alerted on a lot of Prosper's Flock cameras, and so it showed at the avenue in which he was traveling, and we could come back later on, and it's going to be huge in his court case. So, he can't say that he wasn't up here because we've got him on Flock camera systems showing it all the times and locations that he came up, his license plate reader came up.
You got breadcrumb.
Yes, absolutely.
I think it's great. When I spoke with them and kind of got some pricing, I was like, well, that's kind of out of our range for now. So the grant makes a huge difference.
Oh yeah, it's a game changer for especially police departments our size when it comes to saving the citizens money. 3,000, I was like, man, that's pretty steep. And then they talked about it. The other thing that Sergeant Wilbanks and I, if you don't already know us, we're not going to just take whatever the price they give us. My dad taught me, you never settle for the first initial price. So he was a barter, and so I think that's where I get that from. But me and Sergeant Wilbanks were able to negotiate not only the initial cost, but the startup and registration fees. We had all that waived, and so if we go through with this, all of the and I think it's on in the packet there.
$2,500 cost to the city year.
$2,500, all that, is going to be waived for us as if we come aboard with Flock Safety.
That's great.
Can other HOAs tap into the grant?
Yes.
Okay.
So if they work and collaborate with us, we can work towards getting that established. One of the things that one of the options that we've looked at is maybe going through our nonprofit to do that with the Friends of the Gunter Police Department, and partnering with the HOAs to do that, because a lot of times they don't want any part of having to monitor it, and so it's one of those where they may want to make the donation to the police department, and then our nonprofit will help with that.
I'm just thinking for the woods, because there's only one access and egress.
Well, that was what we talked about. We talked to Carl Linderman. He's the president HOA out there. We spoke to the clubhouse. They love it. The new ownership they're under new management out there right now, and we spoke to Mr. Webb. He's over that out there now, and he's all in. He's all about it. We'd like to get with the Meadows and then the new communities that may go in the near future, and just show them the small, short presentation of how it's going to easily help. And people are going to want this because it's going to make their communities and their neighborhoods safer.
It's a deterrent too, because
And I know that there's stuff out there about the negatives about, well, we don't want, who's capturing our information? Are y'all using it against us? It's not like that. I think, like Chief Cook explained in the video, I think once they see the benefit of having flock in the communities and how it makes it safer and people are educated on it, they're going to be a more advocate for that and advocate for the law enforcement to have it. Because this is another tool for us to do our jobs and do it better.
Well, if we'd have had it at the ordinance about 2-3 years ago, we had I don't think they were caught them, but it was a group.
A string of break-ins.
But it was like part of a group that was just coming through Texas, gypsies or something. I don't know.
Wow.
But,
Does ICE have this information?
Who?
ICE,
ICE.
the immigration.
Mm-hmm. Every law enforcement agent across the United States in one form or shape has these.
That's what I'm asking.
State trooper. Well, years ago, when I was in El Paso as a state trooper, a young state trooper, just to our west, the states out there had them mounted to their vehicles. These were brand spanking new. This was like way early technology, but they had them on their vehicles, and so these license plate readers would read, and they were getting a lot of stolen vehicles, and that's a lot of the troopers out there were utilizing this before it made it into like, hey, law enforcement's doing it on a smaller scale. These private sector said, hey, let's do it for our communities, for our people, and that's how that all got established. There was another video that I was going to bring, but it was a little lengthy, and it describes how these guys got together and established this product, and it was all about making their communities and cities safer.
All good?
I'm good. I'll make a motion.
Second.
All right, so I've got Wade with a motion to approve, and I've got Dave with a second. All in favor?
Aye.
And that is unanimous. So, congratulations, Chief, and
Thank
City
you.
Governor. I think it'll be good for us.
It is, and like I said,
It's
I
not
was
somebody
explaining.
sitting around watching, where everybody's driving and go, oh, he's going over there. We're not in somebody's business. This
Right.
is,
If your license.
the information's going to you because the system picked up something.
Sure.
It's not like we're sitting there looking for somebody, so.
Right.
I think
And this
it's good
isn't like
for us.
somebody forgets to register a vehicle within a month or so at the DMV. This is nothing like that. This is,
Right.
we're totally looking at the criminals out there that
Yeah.
are ripping people off,
These are things already in
stealing
the
vehicles
system.
and coming into our city.
Yeah.
Because we've had stolen vehicles show up in our city. We didn't know it until we just come across it. In this case, as soon as they come into our city, we're going to know right away if they come in. If you've got warrants for your arrest in your tied to that vehicle, we're going to know about it. So it's just another tool to help us do our jobs. And like I said, this is again, part of that partnership. We talked about as far as our 5-year strategic plan moving forward. These are the innovative tools that we're talking about. That's just going to separate us from the other departments that we're going to lead by example. We're going to push that bar up, and we're going to be that big brother to the smaller departments like Tioga, Collinsville, South Main, because they're wanting to piggyback off of us once we get it.
Danny, can I ask you something real quick?
Sure.
The $2,500 a year, is that, did you say they're gonna waive that every time or just this one time?
Well, they're waiving the initial startup costs is what they're going to be.
So is this 25, I guess let me circle back around, so is that 2,500, do I need to put it on documents to give to the mayor to come before
That's what's
council
gonna
as
be-
far as a budget amendment?
Yeah.
Budget.
So that's what we're going to be responsible for is the $2,500 a year for the cameras.
So no, that's, he's
No,
got
he's
that in
saying-
his budget.
We're
If it's
talking
the 500.
annually
I'm
$2,500.
talking about the
annual.
annual
So-
bill, that's what I'm
$2,500.
Yes.
Right.
Instead
We
of
need to add this for our upcoming
Plus
budget,
12.
which you guys is like,
Right.
the way we're about
But
to
as far
start
as
doing
the
this again.
2,500, he should already have that in there. He's not
Yeah.
gonna come
Yeah,
back.
no, we don't have to worry
I
about
was
budget
talking about the
amendments.
other initial.
We just have to make sure.
The startup costs and all that, we got that waived. The 20% is what the city will be responsible for, which is the $2,500 annually.
And that I do believe
Yeah.
you have in your budget.
Yeah.
And so actually, while Captain Kramer's here in the back and Chief that you're here, and I'm gonna send out an email later for all the department heads. You guys have probably already started working on your budget. I should, I'm sure you didn't need me to tell you that, because you've been thinking about it, but wrap that up. I should have warned you, sorry about that. But no, we've gotta have these talks real soon, and I need to get back, into it and look at it again, now that I'm back in Funview.
So time for our yearly pizza party.
Yeah, we won't do the marathon workshops like last year, it'll be a little bit better.
Now, can you
This
guys
time.
also tie in license plates from like creative citizens showing up to businesses or anything
Crazy,
like that? And,
Crazy citizen.
crazy harassing citizens.
It's not,
track them.
Tracking
like,
our
this
business.
isn't
businesses.
something that, if there's a civil thing going on. No, I'm.
Like if there's a domestic violence
Because-
case and then there's the license plate, yes, it'll catch it and it'll
But-
let them
Like
know that,
crazy,
hey.
it's crazy.
Well, no, that's criminal, it's domestic, but I'm talking
Yeah,
about, let's say, husband and wife going through a divorce. And wife wants to know where,
Where
If
her
there's-
husband's
if
been.
there's
Don't call the police
anything-
department asking for that.
Yeah.
No.
I want to
no.
say if there's anything that flags a license plate, which the owner, whether it's protective orders or if there's something like that,
well, those are criminal.
I want to say, well, even the civil. I mean, it can start off as a civil dispute between the husband and wife, and then protective orders are then issued through the district attorney's office by a judge. A lot of times those will be those red flags that get put on these license plates or to the owners.
But can't be tapped in for like discovery.
No.
Okay.
No.
When
It's
you said
because-
civil, I thought you said Sybil. Do you know who that is?
Yeah,
Paul?
the 15 personalities.
Yes, all the multiple
We
personalities.
got one of those here in Gunter.
I think we do.
But I think it would be like
I
if
thought
someone
that's
has a
what you said,
restraining
like,
order case and they can't come within, like
Yeah.
if they have their license plate number, you guys can put that in there and say, yeah, for court documents,
Sure.
yes, you went against your restraining
And,
order.
and ladies and gentlemen, there are a plethora of things that this
Yeah.
can do that
Yeah.
we are just tapping into. I mean, it's
But we will be doing it responsibly. We're
Yes.
not going
Right.
to be big brothering people because
Well, let me ask
Yeah,
this:
would not
can
be a fan of
you know
that.
we talked with TxDOT about putting a thing across the road as a counter? Wouldn't this give us like the most accurate vehicle count on the roads?
yes, and see that's
And
the
can
other
we
thing.
get that?
Is with Flock, they have other platforms, not just license plate readers. They have
Yeah.
the condors. They've got these video systems that can just. I mean, you can put them up in the, like at the intersections that actually it's real time video. They've got the message boards that'll attract the data coming in, coming out. That TxDOT usually has. Grayson County has a message board up at our north end of our town. If y'all noticed that, that's Grayson County Sheriff's Office. They graciously put that there to help us out because they had extra. So there's a lot of things that they can do. We're just concentrating on the license plate readers, but they specialize in a lot of other products that they offer. We're just starting here. This is kind of like the cornerstone, the platform that we're going to start with, because they offer a plethora of different options that bigger agencies will utilize. They, like if we had a Walmart, we had something with a big parking lot. They have the big structures that the eyes in the sky, the towers, if you will. They offer those. So there's a lot of things that Flock Safety offers. We're just not there yet.
Right.
But these little things that they do offer, and this is one of the biggest ones, is I think going to be very beneficial to our city and our citizens.
All right.
I agree.
And thank you so
I think
much.
we are done. So